Today we're talking about trucks. A guy asked me, to give some advice on buying your first truck. And there's two schools of thought. Some people like aerodynamic trucks, like those ones you see here, and some people like classic trucks. Let's see if we have them here. No, actually, this way I don't see any classic trucks. They're all aerodynamic trucks. Hey, I like those Volvos with a medium roof. I think that's the most practical thing. By the way, you see that flatbed with and that's the International. I recognize that, and it has that thing on the roof, that deflector. That really helps, when you are pulling a tall trailer, But I don't know. I think the trucks that make sense are usually built like this. You see, it's all aerodynamic. The exhaust is hidden behind the cab. Check out the mirrors. I love those mirrors. I wanted to upgrade my mirrors for a long time because mine are like, basic ones, but have these cool rectangular shaped mirrors. I bought at a specialized retailer. They are great, provide lots of very good visibility. But you see that truck, and it has that little, you see the skirt under the bumper. Look how low the lowest point of the bumper is compared to the wheel. It basically goes towards the pretty much towards the nuts at the bottom there. See, like my truck, I don't have that, and actually I wanted to buy a skirt like that, and I found a guy who can do a custom skirt, for like $500. So I'm still thinking, and of course those panels on the sides, help a lot as well. And you can see his tires are pretty small, so I bet those are low profile tires, like 295. So what is it, 75 22.5 or 75 22.5? Like if I was buying a new truck, but by the way, speaking about classic and aerodynamic, basically if you drive at the same speed with the same load, you can save about 1 mile per gallon. So if you're doing, let's say, I like the red color. If you're doing that, let's say if you're doing 6 miles to the gallon with this red Freightliner, you'll be doing 5 with the classic Freightliner or classic Peterbilt or Kenworth. But then when you get to the point where you have to trade in your truck, that Pete or Kenworth will command a higher price, and there'll be more buyers. So basically, it's pretty much you end up with the same kind of money at the end of, let's say, 3-4 years when you want to upgrade your truck. What's the diesel price today here? $3.81. So basically, either you pay more for fuel now, but then you get a higher resale value at the end, or you get a cheap truck that will be hard to sell, but you get a good fuel mileage now. So it's up to you, I guess. But with a classic truck, yeah, you'll be laughing in the morning, when you're walking towards it, and in the evening when you park it in the truck, but you'll be crying each time you fuel. So I don't know. I'd rather spend less on fuel, so that's why it's such a big thing. Another point is I would choose the biggest engine, because trucks are used to pull loads. So by designation, this is a vehicle that's made for pulling. So the higher your torque rating is, the better it'll pull. So I would go for highest torque. I usually don't pay much attention to horsepower rating, because they're just torque multiplied by RPM divided by, what is it, 5280 or something. It's just basically another way to express torque. So the more torque you have, the better fuel mileage will be with a heavy load. So don't listen to any salespeople. When I was buying this truck, it had 1650 pounds per foot of torque, and I said, oh, you know, I wish I could find 1850. And the guy started laughing. Oh, you don't need 1850 with you know, 45,000 pound loads. Yeah, right, on a straight surface, but you're always going on these hills, you know. But so I would go for, now you can get an engine, let's say Cummins. You know, I'm kind of partial to international trucks because they're cheap to service, and they generally sell cheap, you know, like a used one you can buy cheap, and they're pretty reliable. It's all the same parts, you know, all trucks use the same third-party parts. It's not like you're buying, let's say, a Freightliner and all parts are Freightliner. You know, some parts will be, let's say, Eaton, or, you know, or Rockwood. What is it, Rockwood? Yeah, like the Rockford transmission, you know. Or axles will be made by someone else. It's just basically the cab and how the truck looks, you know. But also, I guess what's important is how it's built inside. But international, they kind of screwed up when they started using that, you know, technology. Now here's a good-looking Kenworth. That's the new model. I see more and more of these on the road because you see it's pretty. Look how aerodynamic it is. Like, it's beautiful. I don't know, especially if you pull a long trailer. But I find that, you know, trucks where you can remove the deflector are more flexible, you know, because when a truck is like this tall, that's it, you're stuck with that, you know, cab, right? But if you can remove that deflector, then, because maybe later on you'll switch, you know, applications, you know, and you'll start pulling flatbed, or maybe you wanna, you know, try flatbed or step deck, you know. And that's just extra weight. And also, when the cab is this tall, it's hard to heat in winter. Like if you have a you know, a bunk heater, it'll kind of struggle in cold weather. So the smaller your cab is, the shorter your sleeper and the lower your roof, the warmer you'll be in winter. To be continued.